Welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And boy, I was bouncing around a little bit on if I should stay on this topic or not. I know usually I don't stay on the same topic often. I bounce off of this and I bounce off of that, and I'll go to culture and I'll come back to something cool on news or something. But I feel like this war thing is a big deal. Most of the things we talk about and some of the things that are happening, they're going to be going away, right? And I tell you this all the time. I've literally decided that I put in my calendar when I say things are going to be irrelevant now, so I can come back on and go, remember that thing we talked about? It's irrelevant now. I'm going to start doing that because people always ask me, do this. I'm like, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. And this war thing is a big deal. I said yesterday that this is really Trump's biggest piece right here. What he does in the next couple of weeks, I think really could be literally the most important part of his entire presidency. It might decide what his presidency is about for forever. It might be his legacy. That is how important this is. And my worry is that Trump has said some things that make sense when it comes to foreign policy. He absolutely has. He's one of the people, and he spoke to us a long time ago, the idea of breaking up China and Russia. Now, again, to his credit, I'm going to give Obama the credit. Obama also mentioned this. He didn't do a good job of it, but I think Obama did recognize, and I'll give him credit. Biden did nothing about this. Nothing. But Obama did recognize it. He's like, hey, this China-Russia thing is a problem. We should do something. He wasn't great, but very happy that at least he recognized it. I give him credit for that. Trump recognized it too. He didn't do a great job in his first term, but a little bit. Right, he was trying to make things better with both of them. He did a little bit. He made a more of a movement than Obama did. Biden ignored it. Didn't think it was a thing at all. Trump brought it up again. One of the reasons why Trump was trying to end the war in Ukraine and be so good to Putin is because he's trying to break up that Russia-Chinese connection. That's actually a smart move. Obama knew it. Biden was asleep. Trump knew it. Absolutely true. That piece was accurate. It's not working, though. I really think that this whole Israel thing is screwing everything up. It is this war that Israel's waging is absolutely screwing everything up. And this is my point that I mentioned. I mentioned this back a long time ago. One of the reasons why October 7th happened was people saying, we got to make sure that Trump can't get this stuff going on. And boy, has it worked. October 7th for Israel was literally 9/11 for us. 9/11 threw everything off track for America. Everything off track. This did too. Everything's getting thrown off. It is really a problem. So I have a concern, right? Because we can't afford this war in any way. And there was a TLDR News brought up a piece. And they covered a bunch of pieces, but I only want to cover one piece of what they mentioned. This is the Chinese connection. Because my problem is we are talking about, oh my God, Iran can't get a nuclear weapon. I mean, that's the thing we're talking about, right? And if we look at recently, there was a bunch of polling that Americans by far don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. I understand that. It's stupid and means nothing, but I understand why people feel that way. But this war isn't about that. And that's the problem. The war isn't about that. If it really was about that, what we're doing is we're making Iran into a desperate spot to where they're going to get one because we're teaching them that this is the only way they can be left alone. But this is the China aspect I want to bring up here if I could. This is about China specifically. I'll cover some more stuff in a minute, but here's China.
Anyway, the third and final sense in which the US might not be able to afford a war with Iran is less economic and more strategic.
Yes.
Namely, that war with Iran and being dragged back into the Middle East more generally distracts America from confronting China.
Yes. And if you hear every single Republican, whether you're neocon or not, does not matter. Every Republican says the same thing. China is our number one adversary. China is our number one problem. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'll buy it. I'm in. All right, I'll buy it. Well, then why are you doing this?
Which most of Washington considers to be America's primary geopolitical threat.
True.
This was an argument frequently made by Elbridge Colby, who's currently serving as Trump's Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, and has long argued that China is America's main strategic challenge.
We hear this constantly, right? Whether that is economically, whether that is in Taiwan, whether that's militarily, we hear it constantly. Okay, so then why are we fighting Iran? Why are we caring about Ukraine?
Given America's finite strategic attention, Colby argues the US should therefore focus its efforts on the Indo-Pacific and withdraw from both Europe and the Middle East, which is why Colby has previously opposed US strikes on Iran and advocated for the drawing down of military aid to Ukraine.
Nothing but correct. What I've been saying for years, nothing but correct. And they're like, that makes sense. Let's not do that.
Colby clearly hasn't been listened to. The US is still very much in Ukraine and poised to strike Iran. But if he's right, and the US can't cope with Russia, Iran, and China simultaneously,
it can't. This is not something we can do. Did you watch us march? I did. We can't.
Protracted involvement in the Middle East will undermine America's ability to deal with what Washington sees as the China threat.
Correct.
Like a lot of things right now, this topic is increasingly complex and ever-changing. And
that is why it's not going to stop. Right? I just want to see that piece. That even they're saying, and this is like foreign news, but I got to go one more piece. Now, this is another guy. This guy's a lefty, and he's talking about it. So it's not like I'm just making this up. I mean, I could make it up, I guess, and some of you would believe me, but I always want to try to have some type of someone saying it's not just me making stuff up. So yes.
And this is why the core of this new...
And look at this. This is the Ayatollah of Iran on the far right. And then in the middle, Xi from China. To the left, Putin. And behind them, that's, I forgot the guy's name, but it's the guy from Belarus. Oh, I forgot the guy's name. But he runs Belarus. That's the guy who runs Belarus.
Multipolar world. The core of BRICS and the SCO is the alliance between China, Russia, and Iran.
Yes.
And this is why the U.S. has been so desperate to break up.
Thank you, Lukashenko. Thank you. That's the guy. Thank you. That's him, Lukashenko. That's the guy in the back with the white hair and the black mustache, gray mustache. Thank you. That's the guy's name. Yes, that's the guy from Belarus. So, this is all of those bombs that are landing on Israel now, they're all Chinese made. And I got to go even further. Some of you may or may not know this. The Chinese Navy has now moved in to the Gulf. The Chinese Navy has now moved into the Gulf. What does that mean? That means now there's a chance that they may hit each other. And what are those Chinese ships doing? You might go, well, they're going to fight. They're not there to fight. They're not there to fight. I mean, they might, but that's not their goal. You know what their goal actually is? They're surveillance and communication ships. Ships that the Iranians don't have. Right? So, and if the Iranians put the ships out there, we might, in theory, bomb one of those, or blow up one of the Iranian ships. Are we going to blow up the Chinese ships? We're not. We're not going to blow ships up. And if we do, it's a problem. We're not gonna. And they know that. So what China said is, oh, you mean you can use special intelligence gathering things and give it to Israel to bomb Iran? Well, then you know what? We're going to send our special ships in that have surveillance so that we can help them shoot down your bombs. Yes. They're literally going to try already. They are going to try to set it up so that Iran can shoot down any fighters that come over, any bombers that come over. Now, will it work? I don't know. I don't know how good the Chinese technology is. I don't. But the point is, they're doing it now. And the problem with the Gulf, in there, that area, the Gulf of Hormuz, that area, the reason why it's a problem is because that's not international waters. That's not international waters. Yet about 20% or so of all the oil in the world comes out of that area. The Chinese said, well, we're going to sit there because we're invited by the Iranians, and they are. So they're going to sit there, and they're going to use their, surveillance to make sure that nothing can fly over that Gulf, making it harder for Americans and for Israelis to bring their ships over, making it harder because now the Chinese can help the Iranians target our ships. Doesn't feel good, does it? Doesn't feel good. Usually we're the ones doing that for others. Now someone is doing it for us to shoot down our stuff. Yeah, this is a proxy war. I have warned you all years ago. I said we are in Cold War II. Cold War I was when the Soviet Union was the senior partner and China was the junior partner. And over the course of the Cold War I, the Soviet Union was much more high-end fighting. And we fought locally with the Chinese, like in Vietnam, in Korea. We fought with the Chinese because China's was a junior partner then. That's changed. Once the Soviet Union fell, well, now we've rebooted because we won the war and lost the peace, which is common in America. We always lose the peace. Even if we lose the war, we lose the peace. We always lose the peace because we're an empire, so we're constantly losing pieces. So we lost the peace, and now China has rebooted the Cold War. Now it's Cold War II, but China is the senior partner. And Russia, no longer the Soviet Union, is not a junior partner because now we're fighting the proxy war against Russia in Ukraine like we were fighting the proxy war against China in Korea in the 50s. And now up here is China. We're up here before was Soviet Union. We've just swapped. This is now Cold War II. And it's been that way for years. China's a senior partner. Russia's a junior partner. It was reversed. If you go back 50 years, whatever, 70 years, was it? 80 years? Whatever the amount of time it was, 80 years or so. It's reversed now. That's where it is. We're in it right now. And now China's using their tech. And now they're backing Iran. But not only is China backing Iran, so's Pakistan. And you might say, why do I care about Pakistan? Because Pakistan's got nukes too. And Pakistan's got a big army. A big army. They went to war against India more than once. They have a big army. And they're on a border. And if they want to send troops in, they can. If they want to send Air Force in, they can. If they want to send whatever, support in, they can. Send it right in. What are you going to do? Nothing. Nothing. You're going to stop them. You're going to bomb Pakistan. You're not going to. You're not going to. We're not going to bomb Pakistan. It's not a thing. We're not going to do it. So they can send stuff if they want to. Now, what are they going to send? Probably things like, support and food and stuff like that. What's China going to send? Their ships to make sure that America can't send their ships in. Yep. Just for that, to just make it hard for something like that to happen. And surveillance, of course. And drones upon drones upon drones upon drones. Russia will send something. Not as much because Russia's fighting Ukraine right now. But what Russia has more than anything else is experience in combat. This ensures there will be no, if the Russians and the Pakistanis back Iran, there will be no invasion. Guaranteed. There will be no invasion. Guaranteed.
This alliance. This is why NATO, which is led by the U.S., has been waging a proxy war against Russia in Ukraine for years.
Yep.
And this is why Donald Trump has made it very clear that he's trying to divide Russia and China. He wants the...
Now, this guy's a lefty. He doesn't like Trump. But even he understands this is actually a good idea. Like Obama knew it. Again, Biden was asleep. But Obama knew it, and he tried. Didn't work. Trump tried a bit more. Didn't work as well. Now Trump's screwing it up. Right now, Trump is screwing this up. It's the right idea. He's messing it up now. He's got to fix this. He's got to fix this.
U.S. to improve relations with Russia in order to isolate China as part of the U.S. empire's divide and conquer strategy. Listen to Trump admit it openly here.
You never want Russia and China
True.
uniting. We united them.
Yes. True.
It's a shame. The stupidity of what they've done. Well, I'm going to have to ununite them, and I can.
He's not wrong, right? And that's how incompetent Biden was. Again, a lot of you think I'm like anti-Democratic Party. No, I'm anti-Biden. Biden was terrible. Obama didn't. Look, Obama wasn't great either, but at least he knew this. Obama understood this at least. He's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, at least he understood it. I'll give him that.
I think I can do that too. I have to ununite them.
And it's not just Iran that's the target. Iran is the medium-term goal. The long-term goal of the U.S. empire, the target is China. The U.S. goal is to isolate China by overthrowing all of its major allies.
And none of that's working. None of that's working. He's right. None of that's working. This is not working well at all. So I brought this up because I wanted you to see that. I want you to realize this is something far bigger than they can't get a nuke. And I know some of you are upset about this, but I want you to ask yourself this question. This is why I bring this up. Okay. Right now, today, right now, North Korea has nukes. Are you concerned? No, and you shouldn't be. Pakistan has nukes. Are you concerned? No, and you shouldn't be. India has nukes. Are you concerned? No, and you shouldn't be. Lots of countries have nukes. The only country to ever use it offensively has been America. That's it. And in theory, if you hear the talk, right? If you hear the talk, we did that defensively. I mean, we didn't, but we supposedly. So yes, there is literally no fear, none. If you're afraid of Iran having a nuclear weapon, you live in a fantasy world. You do. One, if they wanted one, they'd already have one. They would rather not have one. People don't want them unless they have to have them. Why, Larry? They're powerful. True, they are. They're also very expensive and dangerous. So people don't want them unless they think they need them. North Korea said, I might get invaded by America, so I better have some nuclear weapons. And it worked. Pakistan said, I might get nuked by India. India said, I might get nuked by China. They got it. The only country who has lied about nuclear weapons is Israel. I'm not making that up. They're the ones who did not sign the non-proliferation treaty. Israel didn't. Everyone else did. Israel said, no, we're about to defend ourselves. Oh, but Iran doesn't? Now, again, I want you to think of this for a second. You're going to hear people tell you this, and I'm saying this because I know I'm losing this battle. I can see it in the polling. The polling, most Americans have fallen for this utter garbage. Are you ready to stop, Iran from having a nuclear weapon? First off, we are making them have one. We are making them have one. Here's what's going to happen. And hear me, I'm saying this up front. If we don't literally somehow get rid of the current regime in Iran, if that does not happen, they will have a nuke within a year or two. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Within a year or two, they're going to have one. Of course. We've given them no option. No option. We've given them no option. They will do it. Guaranteed. So now we're in a tough spot. How do we fight this war without having to get rid of the current regime? That's why we're pushing to get rid of the current regime, so that they won't do it now, because we put them in a spot where they will. Why? Desperate people do desperate things. Remember this? I've said it 1,000 times. It's always true. Desperate people do desperate things. We could just not make them desperate. And I'll say it again. But Larry, everybody wants. Then why doesn't Germany have it? There's no rule. They could have if they want to. Why doesn't Singapore have it? Singapore could if they wanted to. Singapore's right by China. Why don't they have it? Why not? Why doesn't South Korea? Why don't they have it? Why don't I have it? South Korea they have enough money, enough time. They could do it if they want to. All of them could. Right? Norway could. They could all get nuclear weapons if they wanted them. They don't want them. Japan could. They don't want them because they'd rather have the safety of a nuclear power with a nuclear umbrella. They used to have either the Soviet Union or America. Well, once that went away, now what? And let me ask you, think for a minute. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, why in the world would they use it? For what possible reason? For what possible reason? We're mad and we just hate America or whatever. Do you really believe that shit? There's no difference than you believe in they hate us because we're free. That insanely dumb thing they told us in the 2000s, which was a lie then and is a lie now. They'll all of a sudden go, oh, okay, let's just nuke them for nothing. But that better do. Let's just nuke Israel. Why? That would be the end of their civilization. You and I all know that. Not going to happen. Michael says it. Weapon of last resort. 100% true. Yes. Of last resort. If it was that easy, the Russians would have already used nukes. I'm not joking. The Russians have lost hundreds of thousands of people in the war in Ukraine. I don't know how many, but hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. They should have dropped tactical nukes in Western Ukraine. War's over. War's over. If it was that easy, they didn't do it. MW Knox says right there, North Korea is more nuts than Iran, and they haven't attacked us. Correct. In fact, North Korea is still officially at war with South Korea. I'm not making that up. There's no peace treaty. They are still at war. They could literally, legally drop that bomb tomorrow. Do it. Go back, come across the border. They're still at war. There's no peace treaty. I'm not making that up. Do your homework. No peace treaty. They can go to war right now. Yes. There is no way they would do it. Kim says, I hope you're right, Larry. I do not trust Iran to only use a nuke for defense. Aren't those people believe in death for their God? That's propaganda. Iran could be desperate people to do. Yes, if we invade them. If we invade them. Are you okay. Okay, hold on. Let me just be clear on something right now, Kim. What nation on this planet believes that they are God's chosen people? It's not Iran. It's Israel. Why don't they nuke Iran? They got nukes. They got nukes. Why don't they nuke Iran? Nuke them. What are you going to do? You're God's chosen people. Do it. They won't do it. You're telling me Afghanis don't think this? The Taliban doesn't think what this is now? Why didn't the Taliban use a poison gas? They could have. But they used weapons of mass destruction. They didn't. They fought a 20-year war against us instead of using things like poison gas, which they could have gotten easily. Easily. They have. It's easy to make poison gas. Simply easy. The Nazis had poison gas. They had tons of poison gas. Didn't use any of it. Didn't use any of it. Do you honestly think, Kim? I'm just being very forward. You think they're just crazy? There's Tucker said 92 million. I thought it was about 90 million. So Tucker says 92 million. Whatever the number is. 90 million people. And they're like, yeah, we'll all die because Israel? Well, then, if that's true, if you're right, why doesn't their army mass march across Syria and invade Israel? Why not? They have militias in Iraq. Get your militias together, get all your military together, march your happy ass across Iraq, across Jordan, invade Israel. Why not? What's stopping them? If they're that crazy and they're going to die for their God, the propaganda that Fox News and CNN is telling you, if that's true, march across the field. Do it. Go get them. They can't kill all of you. They could bomb a bunch of you. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, half of them will be dead. But they don't care, right? Because they're going to march for their God or whatever. No. This is the equivalent of cuz Muslim. None of this is true. There's literally zero evidence of this. There's zero evidence of this. Why wouldn't they do it now? What's stopping them right now? And I mean that seriously. Seriously. This is the same garbage of Russia's going to invade all of Europe. Same thing. Because Russia's crazy. Because every bad guy is always crazy. Not just that they're always crazy. Every bad guy is everything good and bad. So Russia is too weak to take Ukraine. We can beat them. They're beatable. Ukraine can win. But at the same time, Russia's going to invade all of Europe. Which one is it? Is Russia so strong it can invade all of Europe and we're afraid? Or Russia so weak it can't beat Ukraine, Ukraine can beat them? It's both. Why? Because Russia bad. Iran. Oh, they're broken. They're terrible. Their people can't stand their government, and they'll overthrow them because their people are yearning for freedom. Or they're all crazy and they want to bomb and kill everybody. Which one is it? It's both. Because we always make the bad guy all the bad things, even when it makes literally no sense. It's what we do. It is human nature. I'm trying to show you this human nature. Don't fall for it. People hate Trump. Trump is the dumbest man. He's an idiot, right? Oh, this guy, he's going to take over the entire country. He's going to destroy us all. Which one is it? Is he utterly incompetent or he's going to kill us all? Which one is it? It's always both. It's always both. The Democrats are losers. They can't do anything right. And they're united against us. They can take over the country. Which one is it? It's both. It's always both. And it's always bullshit. Don't make people desperate, and they won't do desperate things. I wanted to focus on this because I see Americans falling for this everywhere, right? I see them falling for it everywhere. It doesn't matter. You know what matters? You paying your rent, you having a happy family, you having a happy life. That matters way more than some stupid freaking war 7,000 miles away, which has never worked ever. Us interfering with things has never made things better. Ever. Phil, thank you for the $5. The framing seems to shape polls. Should Iran get nukes versus do you want war with Iran? Polls are different. And thanks everyone for the sharp way bump. Oh, of course. Yes. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, no, look, the reality is true, right? If you look at the polling that says, should we engage in a war with Iran? That's not a majority. Should we stop Iran from getting nukes? That's a majority. So yeah, they're doing it on purpose. This is why you only hear Trump and them all say it's about nukes. It's not about nukes. It's not. It's not about nukes. It's about breaking these people up. I get it. There are better ways. I agree with the idea of not having a China-Russia alliance against us. I'm not happy with BRICS. That's not a good thing for us. I'm agreeing, right? And again, BRICS today isn't a problem. BRICS is a future disaster if we screw up. That's what BRICS is. BRICS is a backup. Remember I told you that if America falls, there'll be some time before whoever comes to the top creates a financial system, creates a system that will guard all of the shipping lanes, right? Whatever happens, there'll be a time. BRICS will be that thing. They will make BRICS. BRICS will be the foundation to where they'll create the new thing, whatever that new thing is. So I'm not happy about BRICS because that's basically our demise, right? Whenever we fall, BRICS will be the beginnings of whatever they create. That's how that's going to work because something's there. They'll just use that. Yeah, that's the problem. We don't want to be doing this. It's not helpful. Literally, thank you for the $5, my friend. Iran seeks mass energy systems. True. We went and off their scientists and reactor cooling systems. That then infected our own systems. The worm. Oh, I remember that thing. Yes. I remember that worm, bro. I remember that thing. Yes. Yeah. And we think it's okay. Think about this. We think it's okay that we went in and assassinated civilians. We're okay with that. And I got people who are telling me, Larry, it's okay. They're just getting rid of their nuclear plans, whatever. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you something. What if the Russians did not like us coming up with our new Star Wars missile system that blocks their supersonic missiles? They don't like that. So they decided to do a tactical strike against us and kill our scientists that are making it and blow up our stuff. Would we go, oh, that's not war. They're just taking out that. Oh, no. But somehow it's okay for us to murder their scientists. Somehow it's okay for us to literally kill their civilians, to destroy their military leaders, America to do so. That's fine. When's the last time Iran attacked us directly? And then they'll lie to you and say the other thing. Oh, Iran's is trying to kill Trump. Stop. Utter bullshit. Just like Tucker called out Cruz on that, said, if you don't believe that, if you believe that, you'd be saying to go to war with them. Of course we would. Utter bullshit. Again, utter lies. Larry, would they lie this bad? They lie us into war all the time because Americans don't want to go to war, so they have to lie us into a war, and we're so damn, I don't know, nationalistic, so damn, I don't know what we are, jingoistic, whatever we are. We keep believing this. We keep believing this. They're lying. They've been lying. They keep lying. Phil, thank you for $2. Did WW2 shape the mythology of American Empire? 100%. Absolutely true. Yes, and we never want to get rid of that. We liked being empire. We still like being empire. We love being empire. Remember, we took over our dad's business. The British Empire is our father. It's the first time that I can remember. If someone knows anything else, I'm happy to hear that. I can't think of another time when an empire had a son, basically, and then the son just took over. Usually after an empire falls, it's the Dark Ages. We didn't have that because when our dad retired, we just took over. So, yeah, we decided we're taking over dad's business. So there we go. All All righty. John says, we need a karate tournament to settle this. Yes, yes, and yes. 100%. That'd be amazing. Let's do that. And whoever wins, wins. Matt, thank you for the $5. Check my next comment. It won't let me send. All right, I have to go check that too. Let me go through some comments, guys. Let me go through a couple of these real fast. A little bit longer on this one real fast. Let me see if I can pop this up real fast here. Hold on. Where am I? I need to pop this up. Hold on. And remember, this guy's a lefty. The guy who's talking now, he does not like Trump. He hates Republicans, blah, blah. But even he's saying this.
Which is one of the most powerful contractors of the U.S. military and the CIA. The CEO of Palantir is Alex Karp, and he's a close ally of Donald Trump. And he admitted in an interview in 2024 that the U.S. is, quote, very likely, end quote, to fight a three-front war against China, Russia, and Iran.
That is literally the neocons. That is literally the deep state. That is literally the military-industrial complex. There it is. There it is. And it's not like only Republicans want this. I've been very clear. Not only Republicans want this. You know Chuck Schumer wants this too. You know he does. This is the one time when you can find Chuck Schumer and Lindsey Graham holding hands. Guaranteed. They love this. I know some of you like, Larry, you sound almost like anti-war. Yes. Yes. It's not helping. And the worst part is the men who are going to go over there and fight and die, the men who are going to be broken, are men that we want here in America, helping to build this country and to build families. That's where we need them. But the men who are going to stay here are going to be the broken men, the men who don't qualify to go off to fight the wars. Those are going to be the men who are going to stay here, and they're going to be ready for you, women. That's who you're going to get. That's who's left over to build our country, to fix it. Not the men who should be, because they're going to be off getting their arms and legs blown off. And when they come back, we're going to ignore them, because we always do. We're just going to ignore them. We're going to have them go fight our war. There'll be nothing of any value. The Korean War was a colossal waste of time, money, energy, and bodies and blood. The Vietnam War, a colossal waste of blood, men, treasure, gone. Afghan War, colossal waste. Iraqi War, colossal waste of time, money, energy, body, blood, gone. For what? For what? In Syria and Iraq, we spent almost $3 trillion and lost like 5,000 men, something like that. I forgot the number. Something like 5,000 men. In Afghanistan, we spent like $2 trillion, something like that. And we lost like 3,000 people. And how many broken and battered and wounded? Tens of thousands? For what? When will we fucking learn? The country is broken. And we're sitting here worried about, well, what about Iran? I don't give a shit. And you shouldn't either. And you shouldn't either. Can you pay your bills? That is my question. If your answer is yes, good for you. Do you have enough money to have a good life? If you do, good, but what if you don't? Do you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever relationship you're looking for? Do you have that? Do you have children if you want children? Do you have family if you have family? Do you want that? Do you not have it? Do you have the job that you want? Do you have the career that you like? I hope you have yes to all those things. I hope you do. But here's what I know. The vast majority of Americans can't say yes to those questions. The vast majority of Americans cannot say yes to those questions. So here is my answer. Stop looking in someone else's fucking backyard and fix yours first. That's what I'm saying. This is no different than all the people get mad at all the protesters out there. Some of you get mad about BLM protest, all that shit, right? Yeah. They're out there doing it where they're broken internally. It's great. They go out and do all these protests. I'm going to save the world. I'm going to save the world. You're broken. Save yourself first. This is us, America. People sitting here talking trash. Literally thousands of us talking trash. We got to go save Ukraine. We got to go save Israel. We got to go save Iran. We got to go save whatever. Save yourself. Save yourself. You're broken. Fix yourself. Fix your backyard. Fix your friend. Fix your neighbor. Fix your family. Fix you or your cousin or brother or whoever. If you're not broken, somebody you know is, because this is America and most of us are broken. This is distraction. This is just distraction. That's why I'm staying on this shit for 3 days in a row, because this is distraction. Do not fall for this garbage. Do not fall for this. This nation's $36 trillion in debt. We are failing in so many things. Our kids are broken, our family's broken, and you give a shit if Iran has a nuclear weapon. What's wrong with you? That's my response to you. What's wrong with you? I care about democracy in Ukraine. What's wrong with you? Why do you care? How privileged are you? Or worse, how privileged do you? How delusional are you that you think you're that privileged? Because many of you are not. And you think you are. You think you are. You're not. Why do you care? If I'm insulting some of you, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to insult. That's not my intent. When I want to insult, I'll insult. That's not my intent. My intent is to wake some people up and to give you some real talking points. When people say, we got to stop these guys. Why? Don't fall for it. I'm telling you, look at what they did in Iraq. Look what they did in Afghanistan. What they did in Vietnam. If you're old enough to remember Vietnam, look what they did in Vietnam. And how those people treated when they came back from Vietnam. 10 years, about 60,000 dead and hundreds of thousands wounded. For what? For nothing. Literally for nothing. Those men threw their lives in the fucking garbage. For what? For country. Because saving America. Who cares? We lost that war. And what happened? Nothing. They lied to us. Remember they told us in Vietnam? Oh, if Vietnam collapses, the whole world will collapse. Did it? No, it was a lie. Did it? No, it was a lie. We got to save. We're going to bring democracy to Iraq. Remember, they're going to put flowers at our feet. Remember that lie? They're going to throw flowers at our feet when we come into Iraq as liberators. What happened there? Lie. But Afghanistan, we're going to save Afghanistan. Stayed up forever, 20 years. Give them democracy. What happened there? Lie. But this one's different. This is the one that's different. Because Muslims? I don't know. But the Afghans are Muslims too. Well, you're crazy because they hate America. Afghans too. We killed more Vietnamese than all the Iraqis and Afghanis combined. Killed more Vietnamese than both combined. You can buy furniture from Vietnam now if you want to. I'm making it up. You can buy goods from Vietnam right now. Go on Amazon, buy some Vietnamese goods. Not even kidding. But I thought the world was going to end. It's horseshit. Stop believing it. It's not true. It is not true. And ask them this question: why the hell do you care so much? Why do you care? It doesn't matter. Do you think right now, serious question, do you think right now there are families in Norway right now going, I don't know what's going to happen if Iran gets a weapon? No, they don't give a shit. And they shouldn't. Do you know why? Because Norwegians don't get involved in wars unless they get invaded. Unless they get invaded, Norwegians haven't been involved in wars since like the Viking times. They don't get involved in wars. Why? They don't need to. They have a sovereign fund which pays all their goddamn bills. By the way, they should be privileged. Norwegians are privileged. They have $1 trillion sovereign fund that pays for all their goodies. Their socialism is free because it's everyone else's money. So they can be privileged. They have a prison system where they have, you can't be in prison, with some exceptions, more than 20, I think it's 27 years. Yeah. That's a privileged society. They're privileged. And they don't think that. So why the hell do you? Why do you? 1 in 4 kids in New York City is special needs or special education. 1 in 4. I care about Iran. I don't. And you shouldn't either. And you shouldn't either. Kim, I think Kim thinks I'm crazy, but it's fine. I still love you, Kim. And you send me good stuff, Kim, so keep sending me stuff. A part of me thinks there are other countries pulling strings behind the scenes to make war happen and be blamed on innocent people. Not sure what leads me to think that or who the culprits are. Yes, you're correct. That's absolutely true. Of course. We sacrifice the poor and the mediocre for the average person, for the elites. Yes, all the time. 100%. Do you think in any way, shape, or form that China's unhappy that we're throwing so much time, money, and energy into Ukraine? Do you think China's unhappy that we're throwing so much time and energy into now Iran and Israel? They're loving it. Okay, to be clear, if some of you don't know this, we physically cannot make enough munitions to fight an ongoing war in Iran. We don't have the manufacturing base. It doesn't exist. We cannot. Physically impossible. And some of you going, that's not true. We're America. That's a fantasy. I told you already. We physically cannot remove all the illegal immigrants that we have, all the migrants. We can't remove. It's physically impossible. I told you that last year when Trump was saying we're going to do the mass. We can't. And have we? No. We haven't even reached Obama levels. I'm not joking. Do your own homework. That's true. We haven't even reached Obama levels. We don't have the infrastructure. The country can't do this. We are a failing empire. We can't keep putting munitions in both Ukraine and Israel. We can't do it. We don't have. It's physically impossible. We can't do it. We don't have the manufacturing for it. Our manufacturing base is in China, and China now is manufacturing a bunch of drones and rockets to give to Iran. And Pakistan will support them with either cash or with food or something else, right? Russia will give them. I wouldn't doubt if already Russia has officers there already helping to train Iranians because of the war they've had in Ukraine. I don't know that, but that makes sense to me. I would bet there's already a cadre of Russian officers already in Iran training their troops already in case they got to go to war. Training already. Again, if I was Iran, I would have already requested that from the Russians. I would have already requested an officer cadre to train my troops. I would have already requested it. So my assumption is they're there. I have no evidence. That's my assumption. Already there. So yes, that's absolutely happening. There's no doubt. So your suspicion is valid. Ganjin says, Trump better not play into that trap. Let Israel fight this out themselves. Time for them to grow up and accept the consequences of their actions. You're not wrong. Look, to be forward, Israel's already done fine. I told you they wanted their buffer zone. They got it. They're good. They could stop now. But again, while I disagree and don't like what Israel is doing, I understand it. If I was Netanyahu, I'd be doing the same thing. I see where they're coming from. Right? I have a lot of empathy, as you know. I understand where they're coming from. I'd do it too. I would. I'd be like, okay, now's my time. Now's my time. Because Iran is in a bad spot. There's no doubt. Iran's in a bad, I've been saying it. You can see it. They're in a bad spot. Now's your time. I do get that. So let me grab a couple more of these super chats if I could. All righty. MD Knox says, Iran has no plutonium processing and they can't make a bomb small enough to put in an ICBM. They can't reach the U.S. Correct. They cannot reach the U.S. But let's assume one day, if they can. I mean, now you're right. They can't now. But maybe in the future. Who knows? Maybe they start it, and once they start, we can't stop them, and they make more, and then Russia sells them the rocket, or China sells them the rocket, or whatever, and they can make it. Okay, great, they can make it. So I'm not making this up. Right now, today, if North Korea wanted to drop a bomb on Hawaii, it could. Right now, it could nuke Hawaii if it wanted to. I'm not making that up. They could. Right now, North Korea could do that if they wanted to. They can nuke South Korea and trash our bases and kill literally tens of thousands of American soldiers right now if they wanted to. And we couldn't stop them. Couldn't stop them. They wanted to. Nuke the Philippines, they wanted to. They could nuke Japan. They can nuke Tokyo right now. If the North Koreans wanted to, they could do so right now. And the Russians can nuke New York. I'm in New York City right now. They could blow New York to pieces right now. So could China. And why would they? This is what I want you to understand. Why would they? If it was that easy, they would do it already. Why has no one done it? Just because they're bored? This is propaganda. Propaganda. If North Korea did that, if North Korea said, we're going to go, whatever, bomb Tokyo or bomb Hawaii or whatever, or bomb all the bases in South Korea, there is no doubt. Did you see what we did after 9/11? If they nuked us, see what we did after Pearl Harbor? North Korea would not exist. Would not exist. And China would not stand in our way. They would not, because they know they wouldn't exist. They would not stand in our way. That's the only thing that would stop China from defending North Korea. If North Korea did that, China would be like, well, you got yourself in this, North Korea. Good luck with that. That's the end. All China would beg us to do is not nuke North Korea. They would beg us to not nuke them. We might, but they would beg us to not, because they would take some of the fallout. They'd say, please just annihilate them, but please don't nuke them. That's all China would do. I'm not even making this up. She would be like, I got it. North Korea's done. I got you. Can you please not nuke them? Can you just conventionally bomb them to the Stone Age and then totally conquer them and crush them? Because I know you're gonna, because they nuked you. Can you please not nuke them? And we might anyway, but that's it. And you know I'm not joking. I'm not making that up. You saw what we did. We literally, Pearl Harbor got Japan 2 nukes. 9/11 got 3 invasions. Imagine they nuked us. It's the end. And I'm not the only guy Larry's the only smart guy who thought of that. Stop. They know it too. They know it too. Matt, thank you for $2. Iran, the last grift. Well, I wish it was the last. But it's another grift. It's another grift. Yes. Phil says, Dune was about Iran coup. Let the spice flow. Ooh, the spice. Listen. My eyes turn blue. You know what's up. Yes, absolutely. Rhetoric, thank you. Member for 4 months. Thank you. Number 1, no to war. Number 2, I dislike that Israel is accused of aggressing when Iran has attacked Israel multiple times directly and through proxies. Still, number 1. Agreed. Look, but this is the thing this is a regional war that they should deal with regionally. Let them. And some people don't like when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Let Israel do what it wants. Fine. If Israel thinks that they should be invading, invade. Doesn't mean we have to be involved. If you want to use the bully pulpit and say how bad it is, fine. But why are we involved? When we get involved, that's what the Chinese are involved in this, because we're involved. That's why. No, Larry, the Chinese are trying to stop that shit. Are the Chinese involved in all the wars throughout Africa? They're not. Why? Because we're not. You know who is? Europeans. Europeans are all over Africa. And also, by the way, Turks and Emiratis, they're involved. But that's it. Chinese aren't involved in that shit. They're making money in Africa. Or trying to, at least. They're making money in Africa. They're not involved in these wars. Now, if we get involved, they'll get involved. Europeans are all in. In fact, there's like Dutch and Romanians fighting in like Burundi. I mean, shit like that. It's crazy. Europeans are all over Africa right now because the French got kicked out. So when the French got kicked out, all these Europeans ran in. They're all in it right now. And that's where they want those guys to go to. Why? We don't need to be involved. We don't need to be involved. I know I'm upset, but it matters. Lunatic says, Israel's the source of all this. Israel is the special country. People get mad when I say it, but we're going to support them. We keep supporting them no matter what. It's true. It's true. Peace is over on Rumble. He says, thank you for the $1, my friend. It's amazing that most people don't understand we, the USA, play a large role in creating these wars. My heart goes out to everyone. Agreed. There's always one thing we can do, which we never seem to do.
Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.
We can just walk away. That's an option we can do. And the sad part is, I literally have that here because I use it so often. We can just walk away, and we just won't do it. It's crazy. Matt, thank you for the $5. By the proxy logic, Israel is a proxy funded and supplied by the U.S. True. I get sick of the proxy talk because the U.S. funds all freaking Al-Qaeda, and other. Yes, it's true. U.S. funds all that stuff, which here's the thing. If the U.S. would not take a side and just make money off it, it's better. It's better at least. Something. If I had to choose, I'd choose that. If I got to choose, I'll choose that versus us getting so deeply involved. So yeah. Guys, you see some people here who I appreciate tremendously, the super chats. Guys, please, if you want to help out, you can always super chat. Your chat goes right to the front. I'm going to grab a bunch more. I'm going to try to grab our members first, but I will grab a bunch more if I can. But remember, the easiest way to support the show is just to click the like button. Click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Click that button. It's the easiest way. Do that. Supports the show tremendously. Every time you click it, Mr. Rhythm, Al Gore, Rhythm says, oh, you like this? So I should probably send it to more people. Let's do that. But the second thing Mr. Rhythm loves is when you share this or repost this, when you actually share this to your friend, you email this to somebody, you share it on Facebook into a Facebook group, you repost it on X, any of those things. Mr. Rhythm loves that. And if you don't do that, then you love war. There we go. See, you love war. You do. If you don't love war, then repost this or reshare it. Then you've proven to the world that you don't love war. But if you don't share this, repost this, if you don't click the like button, you love war. It's just the way it is. Sorry. Please follow me if you would on Facebook, X, and Rumble. If you get over to Rumble, I would appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 500 Rumble. It's so tough. I'm hitting a wall at Rumble. If you can get me past $500, 500 people, that'd be great if you could. I really appreciate that. So yes, if you have not subscribed on Larry Sharpe and Sharpe Way, specifically Sharpe Way YouTube, please subscribe. If you already subscribed once, go back and subscribe again, because sometimes YouTube decides you're a bot and unsubscribes you. And when you do it, click the all notifications bell. This way you get all the notifications. It does matter. You can always super chat me if you want to, or rant me on Rumble, as you just saw Peace Logic do. And of course, become a member over on Sharpe Way YouTube. Click that join button, $49 per month. If you do that, all of a sudden you will see that you can become a member, and every member counts, because I can spend more time doing this and less time working, which I do every damn day. But I was on time this time, so that was good. Also, you can be a Rumble member if you want to by clicking that subscribe button only during the live. That's it. You do that, we can rock and roll. I would appreciate it. But no matter what, Lima, India, Kilo, Echo, it does matter tremendously. So every bit counts. Thank you. Sean says, Biden was useless. Spot on, Larry. Hoorah. True. Yes. I mean, look, again, not that Obama was great, but at least he got it. Like, he mentioned it. He talked about it. He was like, this is a problem. At least he recognized it. Give him credit. He recognized it. Trump recognized it too. Biden was asleep. He was asleep. Nicholas, also on Facebook, says, I think Trump's positioning and steady hand is something we haven't seen before these types of escalations. I'm happy that he's letting Israel do all this heavy lifting, and maybe we can come to terms with the current regime. I hope you're right, Nicholas. My worry is, here is my worry. And I know I've been hard on Trump right now, and I have been. I have not been this hard on Trump in his whole time. He's been president, 6 months? I've been very open, hoping that he would do well. I've been very open. I have been hard on him now, because this is his time right now. This is his time. He has to make the right decision right now. And I'm going to be very forward. I hope you're right. And I hope he really has some 4D chess going on. I hope he does. I hope all of a sudden, in whatever, 30 days or whatever, he's got a great plan, and, you know, they don't bomb Iran, and Iran goes, we were just kidding. I hope he's got this plan. I hope he does. Or I hope he just turns. The advantage, and I said this yesterday, the advantage of Trump is his base is very loyal. And I mean very loyal. So some of the most loyal people I've ever seen. If he changed his mind, they forgive him. They're like, okay, good. You changed your mind. Oh, good. I'll forgive him too. Just don't do this. All's forgiven. Just don't do this. All's forgiven. We're good. We're good. All's forgiven. So I hope you're right that this is a steady hand, because he is a negotiator. I'm saying right now, it doesn't look good. I hope that that's just look. I hope it's real. That's my issue. So there we go. IC says 10, the number 7, was allowed to happen to a particular end. This piece is a controversial piece, I see. But I got to say, most of the time, when governments know something bad this is going to happen, they do let it happen. I mean, we saw it with 9/11. We saw it with Pearl Harbor. We see it here. Now, to be clear, I know some people say, well, this is conspiracy theory and the government did it. But I don't believe any of that. I never believe the government is creating it. Now, maybe it is. I find it hard time government doing anything right. So I can't believe they're creating it. But your point is, allowed to happen, I'm kind of with you. I think that's most things. Oh, something bad's happening? Let that happen. We got it. What did Rahm Emanuel say? Never let a crisis go to waste. So, yeah. Over on Rumble, Peace Logic. Give it a subscription. Thank you so much, guys. Please jump on if you would. Remember our rule on subscriptions. Remember our rule on memberships. If you make $20 million a year, you may not take the free one. You got to pay for it if you make $20 million a year. Don't be cheap. You make $20 million a year. You make 19, take it. It's fine. It's fine. With 20 million, you may not. So any of you who made $20 million last year or about to make $20 million this year, would you dare take that free membership? If you didn't make 20 million, go ahead and grab that. Go ahead and grab it. All good. No worries whatsoever. Let me grab some more. All right. So, all right. Let's see here. Phil says all of China knows you're here. Yeah. Yes. True. I'm not concerned about China though, right? China can't put me in jail. American government can. China can't. That's why I'm not concerned. Yes. Nicholas goes on to say they're protecting their oil resources that they buy from Iran. I think that's also true. However, here's the issue, right? It is cheaper for the oil to come out of the Straits of Hormuz and into China, right? Through that, is it Straits of Malacca? This is what it is. By Indonesia, whatever it was, I think it's Straits of Malacca. That's what go to China. Cheaper to buy that. But remember, there is a land bridge. They could put it on tankers, trains. That's possible. So they do have another way if they need it, right? If they need it, they have another way. It's a lot more expensive, but they can do it. And Russia doesn't matter. This war is good for Russia. This is good for Russia. It's like, good, yeah. Why don't you guys fight over the Straits of Hormuz? Do that. Fight over that. Oh, yeah, do that. Why? Oil can't come out. If oil can't come out, price of oil goes up. Russia's the biggest oil exporter there is. Yeah, you guys fight over that. Why don't you blow some tankers up? They're like, good. Blow a couple up. Fine. Fine. And of course, Iran's not going to be concerned either because Iran has to buy stuff. We're the ones who suffer. We're the ones who suffer, right? Because if the oil doesn't come out, we get more money we have to pay for oil. Right now, some parts of America might do well, like maybe Texas might do well. They might raise the oil prices. I'm not sure. It might, right? That might be okay. But other than that, the rest of us is going to suffer as all the prices go up. Of course. Now, Russia's like, good. I'd love to have $85 a barrel, $100 for a barrel of oil. Yeah. Bomb all of them. They're fine. Not just that. Iran has to buy all these drones. What are they going to buy it with? They don't have dollars. What are they going to do? Buy it in oil. I'm not joking. Just buy it in oil. They got tons of that. So yeah, let's just buy it. We need more drones. How many barrels of oil is that? Throw it on a train, throw it on a truck, send it over to China. They don't even have to go through the Straits. They don't want to. Now here's the other part. What if they are controlling the Straits? They just let their ships out. Let the Chinese ships out. America's not going to bomb Chinese ships. They're not bombing Chinese ships. Not going to happen. So the Iranians will let the Chinese ships out and then just go. We're not going to bomb Chinese ships. That's not going to happen. It's not a thing. So this is not good for us. This is not good for us. We are hurting ourselves for nothing. Monkey See Makudi says we should focus on space. I like that idea. Let's do that. That's way better than bombing people. Okay. If my choice is bomb people or space, I'm going to go with space. I'm with you. I'm going to go with space. Joe says, bet you China attacks Taiwan while we're all busy distracted with Israel, Iran. Now, here's the problem. You bring up a very valid point, Joe. Very valid point. So we sent count them, three of our carrier groups to this area. 3 carrier groups? Does anybody understand what kind of firepower that is? For some of you may not know, 3 carrier groups probably means 300 aircraft. You know how much damage you can do with 200 aircraft? And each carrier group has at least a dozen ships in it, right? The carrier and then all the surrounding ships that assist it in some way, shape, or form, right? Probably a dozen ships, give or take. So we're talking 30 some odd ships, 300 probably in that area. I mean, if you include helicopters, probably 300 ships, give or take. Plus, in each of those groups are missile cruisers, right? So you got missile cruisers there too. You don't have battleships anymore, but missile cruisers are just as deadly. So how many of these cruise missiles do we have? Hundreds of them too. Submarines, each one has at least one nuclear submarine. if not multiple. So now I got nuclear subs there too, which both have both cruise missiles and nuclear warhead missiles, both. I got 3 of them in the area. Not 1, 3. This is like we're invading Iran type stuff. That's what we're talking about. Now, to your point, if I got 3 of them buzzing around the Middle East, that's 3 that aren't buzzing around Taiwan. You are correct. You are correct. That's 3 that aren't buzzing around Taiwan. That's right. Now, also, I got to resupply all these because I'm using all these missiles to shoot down these missiles, to blow up these people, to fire all that stuff, right? And everything I sent to Ukraine. Do I have enough to defend Taiwan now? Your point's a valid one. Now, I don't think in any way, shape, or form that China wants to invade Taiwan. There's no doubt China wants Taiwan. That is crystal clear, obvious. But I don't think they want to invade Taiwan. They want Taiwan to accept Chinese rulership dominion. That's what they want. That's their perfect world, is Taiwan goes, we surrender, no fighting, right? Sun Tzu winning the battle without fight. That's what they want to happen. Now, is that the way to work? Maybe. But now might be a good time, to your point, Joe, to threaten it. Surrender now or we invade. Make a deal now or we invade. Make a deal now and we invade. That was that one country, 2 systems deal they made with, that lie they made with Hong Kong. They make that deal. They make that deal with Taiwan. One country, 2 systems. So have a separate system on Taiwan, which they will eventually completely ignore and just take over. But that's fine because the elites, which is what they care about, the elites of Taiwan will have time. One of the reasons why the Taiwanese, if you notice that chip manufacturing company moved one of its a big chunk to America, is so they can send their elites to America when China takes over. I'm not making that up. That's real. So they're going to have it in America. So when they make their deal on paper, they'll get them what? They gave what Taiwan, hold on. Hong Kong had about 20, 30 years before they screwed them over in that area. 25 years, 30 years before they screwed them over. That'll happen in Taiwan. 20, 30 years. They just say, oh yeah, remember those deals we made? Yeah, we're just kidding. You're a part of us. Too bad. That's what will happen. But by then, the elites can leave. In Hong Kong, many elites went to England because Hong Kong used to be part of the British Empire. So if you were in Hong Kong, you were a citizen of the British Empire. So you could easily go with a passport, no passport, just go to England. So a whole bunch of Hong Kong people went to the UK or Canada, Australia. They left, right? A lot of elites left Hong Kong. So that will happen in Taiwan. All the elites will leave. They'll go to America probably. So anyway, good point. Like that concept. All righty. Let's see here if I keep going. Thank you for these guys. I appreciate this tremendously. Rick, thank you for being a member. China attacks us most effectively through their U.S. corporate partners, like the funders of campus and major city unrest. Also true. Also true. Yes. So let's see here. Oh, IC says she thoroughly enjoyed your short story. Phil, look at you, man. For those of you who don't know, Phil actually wrote a book, and we posted it on the show last night, and some of you bought it. So I appreciate that, guys. Look at you going, Phil. Phil rocking it, man. Phil gonna see, Phil, you're gonna still talk to me when you're a famous author? You're like, Larry, who? Larry, I don't remember Larry. I don't remember this Larry guy. You're gonna forget me, huh? That's how you're gonna be? I'm gonna be like, dude, give me an autograph. Be like, Larry, get in line. Larry, call my people. We'll set up a time to talk. Maybe. That's gonna be you? Probably. So yes. Matt says, Iran has a right to defend itself. I think all nations do. Yes. Lunatic says, I'm concerned of India and Pakistan water disputes. People, Lunatic, this is such an underrated thing. Thank you for bringing this up. This is so underrated. Water rights are a huge problem in the world. You are absolutely true. It is a huge issue. Yes. And we ignore it because we think it's all about, it's the nukes or something. No, it's very often about simple things like water rights and other things like that. I agree completely. I absolutely agree. Yes. So grab some more of these as I move down. You guys saying hi to each other. Appreciate that. Michael, thank you for being here. He says, I heard that they have a week's worth of Iron Dome missiles. Already, most missiles are getting through. They hit Mossad headquarters, the Federal Reserve Bank of Israel, and now they won't let people film it. Yeah. The problem is there's a limited number of these defense missiles. And as I just said, we don't make enough. We just don't. And what we have been throwing into Ukraine, now we're going to throw them here too. Trump's already said he doesn't want to give any more to Ukraine. So what's happened? The Europeans are not throwing stuff into Ukraine. They're not giving up on Ukraine. I think it's crazy. I can't imagine Ukraine winning this war. I mean, maybe I'm missing something, right? Maybe I can't imagine Ukraine missing this war. I spoke about this literally 3 years ago, and I showed you the data. I have the receipts. It's on video. And I said, Ukraine's not going to win this war. Eventually, Russia's going to get at least 3 out of 4, if not all 4 of the things that it wants. And that's the end. That's how this war ends. So let's just end it now versus 4 years of pain and death and lost limbs and broken bodies and refugees and bombed out homes and destroyed families. Let's just end it now. That's the end. And as I see it now, that's not going to change. That's not going to change. No difference. So, but yes, you're right. The problem with modern warfare is it's expensive and requires a lot of stuff to be made. It requires a lot. The Russians now have created an environment where they're creating, if I remember right, I think the EU even says it. They're making like 3,000? 2,000 or 3,000 armored vehicles every year. That's a lot. They are bringing in 20 or 30,000 new recruits every month. The Russians are bringing enough people to make up for their casualties. In fact, they're actually growing. Their army overall is growing, right? Because the casualties they take versus the new recruits they bring in, there's more they're bringing in than casualties they're taking. So their army is actually getting bigger. The Ukrainian army is actually getting smaller because they're taking too many casualties what they bring in. So that's why they're spending more. Ukraine is actually defending some areas with only drones. Like there are almost no bodies in certain parts of the front line. It's basically defended by drones only. And those drones are eventually going to wear out. But one thing Ukraine's doing very well is Ukraine has created its own drone industrial area. So that's amazing. They do actually make drones in Ukraine that they've done relatively well. So in any case, I get it. Yes. All righty. Let me go down here if I can. So many of these. I appreciate it as always. Michael says, don't give him any ideas, Larry. I'm trying to give him ideas to do the right thing. I'm trying to make him do the right thing. Phil says, Iran could invade Sunni Afghanistan and control their water source. There's already right now border clashes between Afghanistan and Iran already. And I think this, and not everyone agrees, but I'm giving you my opinion on this one. I think the reality is the reason why the generals convinced Biden or suckered him, I don't know, into leaving all our weaponry there is so there'd be a better armed Taliban on Iran's border. Now, the generals told Trump that too in Trump's first term. They told him, and when they told Trump it was cheaper to leave it. That's what the generals told him. Trump actually, to his credit, didn't care. He's like, nope, it's got to come out. The problem is Trump didn't win the election. So by the time we left Afghanistan, which Trump actually negotiated leaving Afghanistan, Trump wasn't in charge when we left Afghanistan. Biden was. And the generals told Biden the same thing. Leave it there. It's cheaper. And Biden, I don't know what Biden knew or not, but I'll be very clear. Biden's responsible either way. I don't know if Biden bought the lie or Biden just didn't know what was happening and the auto pen did it. I don't know. But again, he's responsible either way. But either way, the generals got what they wanted. The generals wanted our stuff to stay in Afghanistan, and it did. And that's why it was so bad. This was the generals that we had there. Most of American generals are just terrible generals. I don't care. I'll say it. Most of them are terrible. Most of them, we have more generals in America now than we had during World War II. Most of them are administrative generals who are just going right to the military industrial complex, and they just make tons of cash that way. They're all cash grabs. Most of them are corrupt cash grab generals. Most of them are. We haven't had a good general since Schwarzkopf. It makes you angry. I'm sorry. It's just true. Most of them aren't that good. They're mediocre at best. West Point puts out mediocrity. I know some of your West Pointers are mad. It's just true. West Point puts out mediocrity. It pumps out mediocrity. It's not what it was. Our Army officers are mediocre at best. You can see it in that goddamn parade. That goddamn parade showed you how crappy our Army officers are. That was an embarrassment. Every Army officer should want to hang their head in shame for that garbage parade we did. That was embarrassing. But anyway, it's just true. So I do think that the generals wanted that. Biden let it happen. Again, I'll give Trump credit. Trump did not want it to happen. I think if Trump was there at the time, he would have got it out because he was like, no, I'm not leaving my shit there. Maybe that's the businessman in him. I don't know. But he was like, no. So they won their way. So that's already happening. The Afghans and Iranians do not get along, and there's already border skirmishes. So that actually could happen. So yeah. Phil goes on to say, thank you for $2, Phil. Larry, I need a Sharpe literary agent. Ooh, I like that. All right, we got to talk. I'm coming up in your area, coming up here soon. So maybe I'll stop by. We'll chat. So yeah, I got to come up there anyway. So maybe we'll do that. That's good. All righty. Let's see here. Rick says, but Israel is a holy land for Muslims, so no nukes. That's my other point, Rick. Thank you for that. Jerusalem is a holy site for all three of the Abrahamic religions. Nobody nuking Jerusalem. That's not a thing. No one's doing that. You do that, and everybody, I'd be like, nuking Mecca. Not going to happen. That's the end of you. Like, that's it. That's the end of you and your people and your family. It's over. Not going to happen. You're totally right, Rick. That's not a thing. That's something that people just are talking trash. So yes. Anyway, yeah. IC says, yes, facts, Rick. Yes, correct. It's not a thing. Yep. All righty. Lunatic says, nukes were never dropped in Japan. Check half of the plutonium that was used. That was a story. Lunatic, really? Man, you making me do homework again? Don't you think I have enough homework, Lunatic? You're making me do homework again. Always making me do homework. All right, I gotta go check that. All right. Let me keep going. I mean, the monkey see what I'm gonna do has two of them. He says, one, I agree there's a lot of fear-mongering around the nukes in Iran, but we also have to acknowledge the risk of terrorism and proliferation. Extremist groups are more common in Iran. Okay, are you telling me, just to be clear, monkey see what I'm gonna do, are you telling me that that's not an issue, that was an issue in post-Soviet Union Ukraine? That was an issue in post-Soviet Union Ukraine? You tell me no one could have swapped one of them nukes out? Did you see that movie Lord of War with Nicolas Cage? That was based on a true story. Well, obviously it's a movie, but it was based on reality. Yeah. Come on now. If you're telling me you could just buy it, they would just buy it, right? They would. If a group like that gets their hands on a nuke, it would be extremely destructive if they can manage a delivery system. Okay. Why wouldn't Al-Qaeda have already done it? Osama bin Laden, super wealthy. His family, insanely wealthy. Saudis, insanely wealthy. They funded 9/11. The Saudis funded 9/11. I'm not making that up. The Saudis funded 9/11. We're still their allies, right? They funded it. 19 of them, 18 out of 19, 16, whatever it was, were Saudis. So they funded it. What's stopping them from doing it now? What stopped them from going to Ukraine at the end of the Soviet Union going, hey, here's X million dollars, give me one? Literally was up for sale. What's up doing it now in Russia? Go now. Corruption there, all over the place. It's a thugocracy. Write them a check, give them some gold, blood diamonds, whatever, do it. Why not? You act like the only way they could get it is if someone makes it in Iran. If a government is making it, that's probably the safest one because the government doesn't want to be destroyed. Right? A government wants to save itself. I guess, but why isn't it happening already? Where's the dirty bomb they keep talking about? They've been talking about dirty bombs for 30 years. Where is it? Nowhere. I mean, I guess could it happen? Sure. But are you going to live your life hoping that? And so now, how many thousands, and this is a real question, how many thousands of Iranians, Israelis, Americans, Chinese, Russians, Pakistanis have to die because we're scared that maybe some guy might get a dirty bomb somewhere? Maybe. How many thousands have to die? I'm going to say none. But you might say, no, it's fine if millions die. We said that in Vietnam. How many Vietnamese should die because we're scared of communism? The answer is 2 million. That's the answer, 2 million. That's the answer. Did it stop it? No. They're still communists today, in theory. Yep. How many Koreans have to die because we're scared of communism? 1950? The answer was what, 1 million? Was it 1 million? I forgot how many died. 1 million. How many Iraqis had to die because 9/11 was somehow Iraqi or whatever? How many Iraqis had to die because we are scared because Muslims? The answer is 1 million. Doesn't have to die. I would like it to be 0 because everything they told us to be scared about, we did not have to be scared about because we lost all those wars. And the bad thing still didn't happen. We didn't win the war. The people still died. And the bad thing didn't happen. Why would you leave it now? That's it. IC says, war, when old men lie and young men die. True. True. Yes. Absolutely true. That part always drives me crazy. We just don't stop. Yeah. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here. Faithful Friend says, Larry, on one hand, you say Iran can't get nuclear weapons. I didn't say that. On the other hand, you're saying they're trying to get us into the fight, even though Iran never did anything. You've either I have communicated poorly or you have just decided to think a certain way. I never said Iran can't get nuclear. I never said that. I said they didn't want them. That's what I said. They didn't want them, but now they're going to get them. That's what I said, and I stand by that. If Iran wanted a nuclear weapon, it would have got one already. It could just buy one if it wants one. So could, again, I've mentioned thousands of countries, thousands, I'm exaggerating, dozens of countries who could get one if they wanted to, right? Singapore could buy one or make one themselves. They have enough money, space, time, smart people. They could make one on their own if they wanted to. They could. So could Japan. So could Germany. So could Norway. So could Sweden. Finland probably couldn't. They're not that wealthy. They probably could. Switzerland could if it wanted to, right? Poland could if it wanted to. Absolutely. These countries could do it if they wanted to. Mexico could. Canada could. These are all, Australia could. These are all countries that could, they wanted to go get nuclear weapons if they wanted to. They could, either by making them internally or not. And if any of those countries started to do so, would we invade them? Of course not. If Australia decided they want to get a nuclear weapon, are we going to invade them? No. We're going to go, Australia can't have a nuclear weapon. No, we're not going to say that. We might be upset, but we're not invading them. We're not bombing Australia. Will we bomb Japan if they decide to get one? No. Will we bomb Germany? No. Will we bomb Norway? No. But Iran will bomb. But Iran, we will murder their people. We will murder scientists. That will do. But what if Switzerland decided tomorrow? You know, we're scared. We're going to get nuclear weapons. We're going to bomb Switzerland now? We're going to kill their leadership? No. That's not going to happen. It's only with Iran. Why? And we're believing it. Yeah, it's because Iran, they're the crazy ones. Everyone else is fine. Just they're the crazy ones? North Korea has it right now. I'm not saying they can't. They can. And that's my point. They would have already. Now they're going to. Mark my words. Now they're going to. This is why America's thinking about doing them bunker buster bombs. Because they know that Israel has put Iran into a position to where they're going to get the bomb unless the regime falls. And again, kudos to Israel. This is what they wanted. They're getting it. Like, well done, Israel. You're getting what you want. Why the hell are we involved? They're getting that too. They're getting everything they wanted. They're getting it. They are getting everything they wanted. Netanyahu. And Netanyahu's not in jail. Not even in trouble. I mean, that guy's a mastermind. I respect the game. I'm not a fan of Netanyahu at all, but I can still respect the game. That guy has gotten himself out of all his trouble. He's now all of a sudden a hero. Oh, so they all love him now. He went from about to go to jail to about to get a freaking statue. Well done, Netanyahu. I wish I was that savvy. Wish I was that cool. But he did that. So I never said that. I don't know where you got that from. On the other hand, you're saying they're trying to get us into the fight, even though Iran. I'm not saying Iran trying to get us into a fight. I'm not saying that. Iran doesn't want us into this fight. Iran doesn't want. Trump even said it. Iran, even after this, was open to talk. Iran is in a very bad spot right now, which is why Israel's attacking, because they know it. Israel is correct in what they're saying. Iran is in a bad spot. They're not, I'm going to be clear, they're not like falling apart and going to die tomorrow. That's not where they are. It's not like the regime's going to collapse tomorrow. That's not where they are. But they're in a very bad spot. They are not in a good spot at all. So, and Israel knows that. Russia can't really help them much. The only people who can help them, and you heard me tell you this other day, is China. Now, in theory, Turkey. But I don't think Turkey's going to get involved. But if I was Iran, I would be all about Turkey. Turkey, you my new bestie. What do you need? I got you. That's what I would be if I was Iran. I'd be all about Turkey right now. I don't think Turkey's getting involved. I don't see it. Maybe I don't see it, but I'd be all about it. But as I also told you, I'd be having the Chinese, whatever they want, whatever you want, China. And the Iranians have already said that, whatever you want. You want to come on in, get some extra oil? Get a couple extra barrels on us, 100%. So yeah, I don't know where you're going with that. Either I communicated poorly or you misunderstood. One of those two things are true because I did not say that at all. So any case, Kim says, all those wars you just mentioned made lots of people filthy rich, and that's what it's for. Yes. Yes. 100% true. All right, Lunatic, thank you for $10. Uranium-235, Hiroshima. Plutonium-239, Nagasaki. Half-life 700 million on years. 24,000 years on radiation to be absorbed. Japan's islands will be completely inhabitable. Nukes equals fake news. All right, now I got to go look this stuff up. I'm not doing a show. I'll do it over the weekend. And I'll come back to you on this one. I'll do it over the weekend. Making me do work. I got homework to do. See, Lunatic making me do homework. That's what I put up with. Lunatic making me do homework. So, yes. All righty. Let's see. Becky says, ugh, just give it over to BRICS. Let's stop being a world's bully. Cute. Very cute. Yes. Very cute. Absolutely. That's very cute. Becky goes on to say, if American citizens are overwhelmingly opposed to engaging in war, how can we stop our government from it? We cannot. Because our government does not care what we think at all. And there's been study upon study upon study. What the American people want, they don't get. What the elite wants, they get. Again and again and again. That's how it works. Gary says, that is the plan. War is a tool they use to traffic drugs, humans, and fuel the defense industry. No lies detected, Gary. That is correct. Yes, absolutely correct. John says, yes, Larry. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. IC says 100% yes. Phil says spicy. Yes. Missy says the veterans are treated shamefully. You see it, Missy. I see it too. Yes, you see it. We break them, we burn them, we crush them, and then we ignore them. Yes, absolutely. This is the part that bothers me so much, that we act like we love them, but all we do is virtue signal. We say, thank you for your service, and think, well, now I'm a good person, and you can now go kill yourself now, basically. Or we put a yellow ribbon around our lapel or something, and we do something like that. So, yeah, that's the issue. Ryan says, at the Sharpe way, while I agree with you, we in the West created the mullahs that are in power now via the CIA under the Carter administration. The West plays both sides of the fence. You're not wrong. I agree. You're not wrong. That was part of my point that I was bringing up. Our intervention doesn't make things better. They're either worse or the same. We don't make things better. Our intervention does not make things better. We should leave people alone. They will come along when they're ready. If that's tomorrow, awesome. If that's 100 years, awesome. They will come along. And my best example for this, Ryan, is literally Afghanistan. We were in Afghanistan for 20 years. That in Afghanistan is a full generation. There was a full generation of liberal democracy, in theory, in Afghanistan. Full generation. So they saw what a liberal democracy would do. They saw it. They felt it. They were in it for a full generation. And the second we left, they went right back to the Taliban. Why? Because we're bad? No. Because democracy sucks? That's the reason. Because they weren't ready for it. Because we imposed it. And again, well, we imposed democracy on Japan. No, we didn't. We imposed democracy on Germany. No, we didn't. For those of you who don't know this, Japan was already a democracy. Germany was already a democracy. We didn't impose shit on them. We just gave them a new constitution and said, don't kill people anymore. That's it. But they were already a democracy. This fantasy of if we democratize the world, democracies don't go to war against each other. That's bullshit that they always tell you too. That's also right-wing Republican talking points. That's absolutely not true. 100% not true. Let me say it one more time. Imperial Japan, that bombed us at Pearl Harbor, was a democracy. That's true. They lie and say it wasn't. It was a broken democracy, but it was a democracy. Germany was a democracy. Hitler didn't walk in and with a gun and take over. No, he was selected via the democratic process. Now, he wasn't voted in. Their president was voted in. Their president selected him. Same thing with Mussolini. Mussolini he didn't have a gun. He was selected by, was their king or the prime minister, wherever it was selected too. They were democracies. We didn't impose democracy on them. They already had it. They already had it. They had constitutions already. We rewrote them, but they already had them. So now we're going to go into Afghanistan and go, democracy, overnight. People change when they're ready to change. What you hear all the time is people hate change. Not true. That's just garbage people say. Not true either. People change all the time. You change, Ryan, we all change. The difference is, it isn't that people hate change. People hate being changed. We don't hate change. We changed our clothes that we wear. We change our place that we live. We change our job that we have. We change our cities that we live. We change the people that we're around. We change all the time. Change the TV shows we watch, the YouTube channels we watch. Don't change this one. We change YouTube channels. We do. We hate being changed. That's the difference. So they were already democracies. Stories people tell you. I don't mean to be mean to this stuff. I'm just, yeah. Michael Ray says it. We replaced Taliban with the Taliban. But hold on. We replaced Taliban with a better armed Taliban. So just a little bit. A better armed Taliban. That's all. A little bit. All righty. Ryan goes on to say, we were guarding the poppy and oil fields in Afghanistan, not even fighting Iraq looking for WMDs. True. And you might think that's not true. No, that's utterly true. Ryan's correct. The one of the reasons why fentanyl is so big in America, there's many reasons, but one of the reasons why is when the Taliban took over, they stopped putting out heroin. Because when we ran Afghanistan, we ran the heroin trade. I'm not joking. Ryan's correct. We ran the heroin trade. So we, the American military, was to ensure that drug dealers were getting all their money and pumping heroin to the streets of America. I'm not making that up. Do your own homework. That's true. That actually happened. UBS, one of those huge banks out of Switzerland, not once, but twice, was caught laundering money for cartels. But they made so much money laundering money for cartels, when they caught the first time, paid the fine, it was worth it. They did it again. They're like, I don't care. What's the fine? We made 10 times that. Pay the fine. Launder the money. So they laundered money again. Again, make it up. Google it. UBS was caught twice laundering money for drug dealers. Ryan is correct. Saving democracy. Was protecting America? What are we doing? What lie did I tell you? Protecting America? Whatever they said? Horseshit. We were protecting poppy seeds, poppy fields. So that went away. The heroin went away. Why? Because when Taliban came in, they burnt that shit. They said, no more. They said, you get rid of that, or we will literally just kill you and burn your shit. And they went, okay, we'll stop. And they stopped. So what are you going to do now? Well, I got a bunch of addicts that we made from Afghanistan here in America. What are you going to do now? What am I going to do? Fentanyl. Yes. I wish I was making that up. I wish Ryan was wrong. Ryan, I wish you were wrong. He's not. Peace over on Rumble. Thank you for the $1. I remember you talking briefly about the Harris administration and would they be doing better with the situation? Then the answer was no, but wondering if you could expand on that. Yes. The Harris administration is just the Biden administration. They were just 100% establishment. So they wouldn't even, there wouldn't be any pushback at all. There is still a chance that Trump can fix this. It doesn't look good. I'm being forward, doesn't, but he's got a shot. Harris would have just immediately given everything to Ukraine, everything to Iraq. Iran. She would have played every game. She would have said, "Oh, it's the nukes, and we got to stop it," and blah blah blah. She was the warmonger of warmongers, just like Biden was. They would the military-industrial complex and the establishment and all the neocons who are stuck in the Democratic Party would have been like, "Yay!" And to be forward, the neocons Republican would be like, "See that? It's all yes." They all been on board. All would have been on board. 100%. The neocons would have pretended to maybe some of them not like the Ukraine war, maybe like pretended a little bit. But that's it. But they all want the wars. They can't wait because to Kim's point, they're all making a killing. Remember where those comes from. All those trillions of dollars that we're spending, they're going back to American military industrial complex contractors. That's where they're making the cash from. That's how that works. That's all the money they're making. So they're taking the money from our future and giving it to wealthy people now. And they're all that. So there'd be no difference. Look, at least one thing I'll give the right wing right now. I will give Republicans this, 100%. Republicans right now are actually having an internal battle. That's a good thing. I'll give them credit for it. It's a good thing. Democrats would not be having that internal battle. They lockstep. Lockstep. Got to keep the wars going. Wouldn't think twice. They'd be lockstep. Not even thinking twice. At least Republicans are actually mad. Like there's a Tucker Carlson, Cruz fight. There's a chance that Trump might go, oh, because again, here's what I'll try to give Trump credit where credit is due. I'm mad at him about this. I am. It's obvious. I've been insulting him all week. But I still try whenever possible to give credit where credit is due. And Trump does have several skill sets. And one of them is he's often got the pulse of his base. He does often know. He does. If he gets his base well again, he'll turn. He'll be like, I was just kidding. Whatever. He'll turn. He does often, like he's got a feel. I think maybe from his TV days, maybe like knowing the audience. I don't know what it is, but it's a skill set he does. He knows his base very well. And when people think his base will never love that, then he does it, and his base is like, yeah, we're in. Like, how did he know that? Like, no consultant would have said yes. And Trump was like, no, I know my people. And he does. I mean, I got to give him that. He knows his people. Trump knows his people. Better than most. So, yeah. Michael says, it's all about the money. The Federal Reserve funds all the wars by printing money. It's all the Rothschild family, in my opinion. You're not wrong. Yeah. Yep. Tammy says, actually, the Germans attacked Norway for their iron in World War II. That's what I'm saying. The Norwegians only get involved in a war when they get attacked. They're not starting wars. I mean, when they were Vikings, they did, Tammy. But prior to that, you're right. They only got invaded. And the real reason why the Germans attacked Norway wasn't for their iron. That was a small piece. Most of their iron came actually from Sweden. Sweden was neutral and was happily trading with Germany so they wouldn't get invaded. The biggest reason why the Norwegians they invaded Norway was actually for submarine bases and naval bases. That was the biggest reason. Iron was a very small part of why they invaded Norway. Most of it was because of naval bases, particularly U-boat submarine bases, those types of things. It was for the naval battles in the North Sea in their attempt to starve out of the UK. But yeah, that's true. Lunatic says, Norway's prisons are actually American apartment buildings. You are not wrong. If you've seen them, he's right. Lunatic's right. Totally accurate. 100%. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. All right. Let's see if I can go here. Andrea, America, F yeah. It's true. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Yes, you are not wrong. All right. Let's see if I can go here. Michael says that's right, and it leaves our homeland defense. That's my other worry. Is that we start doing all our stuff, and all of a sudden now we don't have anything for ourselves. Yes. Absolutely. All right. Grant says, this is what winning feels like, Sharpe MAGA. Well put, my friend. Grand Regent, well put. Yes. This is literally not what it looks like at all. I'll say again, I said it, if you remember paying attention, I said it when Biden got elected. I wanted Biden to be successful. I did. I wanted him to be successful because I wanted him to do well, because I wanted America to do well. I wanted Trump to be successful. I said it here because I want America to be successful. I want our presidents to be successful. That is what I would like to happen. Biden was clearly not successful. Trump started off, I thought, pretty good. And you heard me say it here. Look, I'm live almost every day. So you see me saying what I'm feeling every day. It's all recorded. I can't hide it. It's all here. I wanted Trump to do well as much as I wanted Biden to do well. And when Biden was screwing up, you heard me say it, Biden was a disaster. He did not do well at all. I wanted him to do well because then America does well. Didn't happen. I wanted Trump to do well because then America does well. Not looking good. That's all I'm saying. Not looking good. But Grand Regent, I hope he turns it around. And I'm honest. I hope he turns it around. I do. Because if he does, then we're going to be better off. That's it. So anyway, let me see if I can do this. Grant says, feels like Iran has been this close to making a nuke since I was a kid. I'm 39. You're not wrong. That's true. That's correct. Yes, absolutely. Dave, Larry was invaded. I didn't say Norway's not invaded. I know they were. I literally said nobody's getting involved in wars. Norway didn't declare war on Germany. Let's be very clear. But Norway didn't go, Germany invaded Poland. We're declaring war on you. They didn't. Norway didn't declare war on Germany. Germany declared war on Norway. Norway got invaded. It didn't get involved in it, right? And Norway fought back. There's been a couple movies on it. Norway actually did fight back. But in the end, the Germans just left Norway because no one reinvaded. Like they didn't invade Norway to liberate it. The Germans just left. At one point, there were almost 250,000 Germans in Norway. So the Germans were very happy to go to Norway because no fighting. Way better to be in Norway than to be in Russia. So absolutely, yes. Ganjin says, people have to remember that it will be mutual retaliation if one country lost a nuke. Correct. And no one is going to support the guy or the country that starts this. No one is going to. Lunatic says, we should end all funding to all foreign entities. True. True. Why won't they listen to you, Lunatic? You are correct. Yes. True. Absolutely. All righty. Grand Region says, I don't think it's a good idea to allow Israel to get supreme control in that area. At that point, what do they need us for after all the money we spent on them? Well, I think there's a couple things. Israel already dominates the region. They have the largest, not largest, they have the most powerful military at the moment in the region, not including Turkey. So it depends on how you look at that, right? Do you consider Turkey as part of the Middle East or not? Some people do, some people don't. If you consider Turkey part of the Middle East, then Turkey has a more powerful military. If you don't consider Turkey part of the Middle East, right now Israel has the most powerful military in the Middle East. Most powerful. Best economy in the Middle East. The only one with nuclear weapons in the Middle East and has American support. Israel is in a very good position right now and a buffer zone all around it. They're in a great spot. If I'm in Israel right now, I'm pretty happy. It's a good spot for them to be in. So they already have it. They're trying to create growth in Israel, and they may just do so. It looks like they might. They're trying to do that. And again, this is their time. You heard me say 1,000 times, I'll keep saying it. Once the Ukraine-Russia war is over, Israel's going to stop fighting. They do not want that smoke of 20, 30, 40,000 Ukrainians, Russians coming into the Middle East ready to be paid, unless they buy them. You know what? Unless they buy them. I don't think Israel has the cash for that, though, to tell you the truth. I mean, unless we give it to them, then maybe. If we give them the money to buy them. Because the guys in Ukraine and Russia, they're not going to care about who they get paid for. They're going to Africa. That's the next stop. If the Middle East wars are over, they're going to Africa. They don't care which side they're on. Who got the money? Okay. You got more blood diamonds as we're on your side. They don't care. That's not they're fighting for money. They don't care. So yeah. I don't think we have a choice, man. I think it's already there. I get your point, but that deal is done. That deal's already done. I don't think so. Faithful Friend says, don't we have long-standing agreements to help our allies? Yes, and it's a terrible idea. Yes, you're right, and terrible. Literally, George Washington told us this 200 some odd years ago. He said, don't get involved in these entanglements. They're stupid. They don't work. They're not good. They're bad. We should not be involved in this. Yes, you're right. We have them, and we should not. As you've heard me say 1,000 times again, I'll keep saying it. What we should be doing, every single treaty we either have a treaty or we have what's called a SOFA. A SOFA is not a couch. A SOFA is a status of forces agreement. We either have a treaty or a SOFA with almost every country on the planet, right? We have one of those two. All of them have a clause for us to get out. Time for us to exercise every clause. Got all of them. All of them. Yes. All of them. You're right, and I don't like it. But both of those things are true. So yeah. All righty. John says, if anyone here is happy about Syria falling, need to remind them that the powers that took control are people who did 9/11. True. So why should we be happy they overthrew Assad? We shouldn't care, John. That's my point. If we left the people alone, there wouldn't have been 9/11. Ron Paul told us that in 2008. He was right then. He's right now. It hasn't changed. He's still right. Yes, absolutely. Guys, I'm going to ask you one more time. If you have not yet, please click the button known as like Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please do that. That makes the rhythm go around. Al Gore, rhythm goes around. Please do that if you could. It does matter. If you have not shared this post, please share this post. If you don't share this post, if you don't repost this someplace, whatever the case may be, if you don't do that, you literally are telling people that you like Al Qaeda. There we go. Yeah, that's what it is. It's help. Don't like them. They're not good. Don't do that. Instead, repost this, share this, like it. Then it changes everything. Do that instead. That's important. If you have not subscribed to me on Sharpe Way YouTube, why do you hate the children? I don't know why you do. Then that did nothing to you. Instead, go to Sharpe Way. Go to Sharpe Way YouTube. click subscribe, click that button, and then click all notifications. Do that so you can be part of the cool chat. That's the cool chat. If you want to get your stuff to the front, go ahead and super chat me or rant me on Rumble and become a member. That's the most helpful. Membership is critical. Membership, I'm going to set it up. I'm thinking about what day. I'm going to do a member show. And I know most people, when they have members, they have a members only show. Yeah, that means only members get to see, but then you can't see my pretty face. And I'm a handsome man. I don't want to take that away from you. That's kind of cruel. So I won't do that. Instead, I will have members come on the show. You'll be able to see those members on this show. Yes, you'll be with me here, chatting it up, talking about stuff, and maybe even yelling at me, which is always fun. So $49 for that. $49 to yell at me. That's a good price right there. Good price. Good price. Either way, click that button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo, please. There we go. All right, let me grab here if I can. Dave says, hold on, so I can find this. Oh, let me grab this banner. There we go. Good. All right. All righty. Dave says, the humongous got nothing. Humongous. You remember that? Absolutely. Peace says, oh, thank you for the $1 over on Rumble. Michael Moore made a documentary called Where to Invade Next. That documentary showed many of the European jails. And yes, true. Many are like our apartments in the U.S. Their outcomes are way better too. True. And that's because they have an actual justice system, not a punishment system. We have a punishment system, not justice. It's all about punishment. We are about that. So if I grab a couple more of these if I can. All righty. Let's see here. Lunatic, thank you for the $2. Every country is in debt and centralized banking. You know, people don't know we didn't always have a centralized bank. People don't know that. Lunatic, they don't know that. But it's true, right? We only had it for about 110 years. That's it. Prior to that, we didn't have central bank. Not required. You're right. We can survive as a nation. Fight wars if we have to. We should stop. Pay our bills, build roads, all those things without a centralized bank. We can. You're totally correct. Ryan, thank you for $2. If only neocons paid attention in history class. Oh, they did. They just don't care. They paid attention, Ryan. They know. They know who made the money. They just want their cut. They paid attention. Andrea says, gifted. Oh, thank you so much, Andrea. Gifted 1 Sharpe membership. Thank you, my friend. That's amazing. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea, by the way, was on our show. She was one of the members who was on our show. This is true. She was here. You can check it out. Check our membership shows out, and you will see that she was one of them that was here. So yes, please, guys, remember our rule. If you made $20 million, you may not take this free membership show. This free membership, you may not take it if you made $20 million. 19.5, 19.9, all good. If you made $20 million, no, don't be cheap. You made $20 million. Pay for it. But if you did not make $20 million, feel free. Grab a membership. All good. Appreciate that. All righty. All right. Let me keep going here. Phil says, you plebs are suffering. My old stock is doing amazing. True. I wish that was not true, but it is. That's the worst part. It is. All righty. PRS says the Straits of Hormuz are critical for Qatari gas. It's not critical for oil. But hold on. No. Oil. No, a bunch of oil comes out of that Straits. Is it 20%? A bunch comes out of the Strait. It does. Now, people don't realize that there's processing. Some people may not realize that crude oil coming out isn't processed. Like you don't like take oil and then make gasoline, right? I mean, you make it, but it's come out as gasoline. I mean, some people know, some people don't. You have to make that. You have to get that done, right? You've got to have it done somewhere. And sadly, for the Iranians, they do not have very good processing plants for making gasoline. So they actually import gasoline. They pop out oil and import gasoline. Kind of weird, I know, but yeah, that's an issue. So anyway. All righty. Gina says an underground bunker with high officials was hit in Iran. Oh, I didn't know that. Did that happen recently? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah. But so I guess they're hitting more of them again. Yeah. Cause that'll work. There we go. Cause that'll work. So, all right. Gina goes on to say high Air Force rank member recorded his alliance to Reza Pahlavi. Okay. Ryan says, majority of them don't believe in God rhetoric. They don't believe in God, but think God promised them the land or some agency has dirt on them. I don't know what that means. Look at Ladybugs, Lindsey Graham. He's a prime example. I'm not sure what that was for someone else. I didn't know what that was about, Ryan. I apologize for that. I'm not sure where that was going. I'm grabbing some of these. I don't know where they're all going. So yes. All righty. I will grab some more of these if I can. All right. Ganjin says, TSMC is in Arizona. I drove by it a few months ago. Yes, that is the company from Taiwan, Ganjin. Thank you. Yes. I know they're in America now. And you're going to see a bunch of Taiwanese people start moving to America over this, right? And all they have to do is pay the $5 million because now we have the golden ticket. So they drop $5 million and they get a green card. Done. They'll all be here. And then they'll get citizenship. And then we keep going. I mean, it makes sense. If I were them, I'd want that too, right? I'd want that too. So, yeah. All righty. Let's see here. Keijon said, there's no way to win. The game itself is pointless. But back at the war room, they believe you can win a nuclear war, that there can be acceptable losses from a 42-year-old movie. Yes, I remember that. Yes. And yeah, none of that's true. Yes. Well, then you act as if they actually care. They don't care. They don't care. Yes. Gene says, they don't hate us because they're jealous of our freedom. They hate us because our government is dropping bombs on them. True. Yes. Dave says, Israel murders Iranian scientists. Also true. Yes. Also true. So, JG says, sanctions. Did you ask a question earlier? I must have missed this. Did you ask a question about this? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Are you asking about what I think about sanctions? Maybe maybe it went by too fast. I couldn't see the whole thing. I can't. But yeah. But do I care about sanctions? Are useless. Should end all sanctions. They're useless. They mean nothing. They just make things worse. They're useless. Don't use any of it. It's silly. Don't. Yes. Massman says this oxycodone ain't going to grow itself. True. Yes. Absolutely true. Yes. All righty. You guys have a lot of stuff going back and forth. I'm missing some of it. I apologize. So, Gene says, I wish you were joking. I know. I'm not. Yeah. Phil says the French Connection was started with an alliance between the mafia and the CIA initially to fund the national. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff you always see. Yes. Ganjin says Harris would have been a disaster for foreign policy. Agreed. She would have been worse. She would have been worse. There was no chance for Harris to do anything better. There was a chance, and still is a chance that Trump can fix this. Again, not looking good, but I hope. There definitely is a chance. Yes. Rick says China is enjoying that we depend on them for rare earth minerals to make our military tech. Yes. Look, rare earth minerals aren't that rare, but getting them out, the way to get them out is rare. Right? And we don't want to do it. We want them to do it. So, yeah, absolutely. We want them to do it. Yes. Gene says the Vikings were also traders. True, they were. If they went someplace where the people were strong, they traded. When they went someplace where the people were weak, they took what they wanted. Accurate. And Norwegians were Vikings. So back in those days, Norwegians were doing stuff. Until then, I mean, since then, I should say, what the last time the heyday of the Vikings was maybe 1200s, maybe is about right in that area, 1100s. It's kind of like the heyday, the last hurrah of the Vikings. You know, after that, they weren't really big deals anymore. And then eventually the Swedes took over the entire area, and they had almost like a Swedish king. Was it Gustav? Is that right? Swedish king Gustav? I think took over in what, the 1400s? I'm forgetting some of my history. Anyway, I'm usually pretty good at these. I do forget some. I'm not perfect, but yeah, I forget some of them. But yeah, absolutely. So, any case, all righty. Let me keep going down this road. Dave says the British left Norway. It's what caused Chamberlain, UK PM at the time, to resign. Vidkun Quisling, yes, was Hitler's puppet. That's how we get the word Quisling. Correct, that's true. Yes. So yeah, and also a lot of Nordic-looking Norwegians joined the SS. Also true. Yes, a lot of them joined the SS. There were a lot of Norwegians in the SS. That is true. Amber says, I voted for someone who was found guilty of felonies and found liable for sexual abuse and fraud, not for war with Iran. Well, to be forward with you, a lot of people, Amber, didn't care about the felonies and the liability if they could have got no wars. I think a lot of people were like, I don't care. Yeah, just give me the no wars and the focus on America, and I don't care, you're past. My worry is now, to your point, we got a guy who did that, and he's not doing that. That's what we actually voted for. He said it, no new wars. And if we go to a war with Iran, that's a new war, right? Literally, that's a new war. So, yeah, 100%. All righty. JG says, I wonder if Larry could do a guest segment on Daily Wire to talk about libertarianism. Cough, cough, Michael Knowles. I'd love to have a conversation with them, but Daily Wire doesn't really want to talk about that. Daily Wire is very conservative, and they see libertarianism as far too giving in many ways, right? some people think that libertarianism is conservative, and that's from a lot of things that people like Reagan said. There are aspects of libertarianism that's very conservative. It's true, there are some. At the same time, if you're a real libertarian, and I say this as jokingly, but also real, you respect people's rights to be conservative. A lot of people think I'm conservative because I respect conservatives. I do. If you want to be conservative, you should be conservative. I respect people who are conservative, of course. I try to have as much empathy as I can, even when I'm upset. I try to give people, I assume that they are trying to do their best. That's my assumption. And I try to give credit where credit is due, even when I'm upset. And I think a good libertarian should be that way. That's my view, but you can do you. There are conservatarians, which are people who are libertarian but conservative. And those people in general are a bit more conservative, but they're more open for other people to not be conservative. Like, you're wrong, but I'll let you be wrong. That's like a conservatarian, if that makes any sense. We have some of those too. So Phil gifted a membership. Thank you, my friend. Phil, appreciate that. I really do. Thank you, guys. Grab that membership if you would. Every membership counts. Please jump on board. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Reza is the Shah's son. Yeah. No, I was aware of that, but do we really want to put the Shah back in? I mean, is that really a thing? God, I hope not. God, I hope not. I hope we don't want to put the Shah back in. I mean, how'd that go last time? Like, not good, right? God, anyway. Okay, let me keep going. All righty. Let me grab some more of these. Phil says, Norway joined with the 1940s Germany because they were invaded by the Soviet Union. No, that's Finland you're thinking, Phil, not Norway. That was Finland. Finland was invaded by the Soviet Union in the 1939 in the Winter War. And then Finland joined with the Nazis because of that. And we knew that as America, by the way. This is a little good trivia point. America declared war on all of Germany's allies except for Finland. We declared war on Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, Italy. We declared war on all of them, but we did not declare war on Finland because of that issue. It was Finland you're thinking about, not Norway. So, but nice. All righty. Phil says Nate Delore would be a good guest. Maybe I'll grab him. I'll see if I can. grab him. So, all righty. Eric says Iran trades oil in yuan, supporting BRICS and de-dollarizing. Yep. Fed is also having a hard time selling bonds. China was one of our top buyers. Getting involved in Iran tracks, unfortunately. You're right. The people don't realize that our top two buyers of U.S. bonds are usually China and Japan, and they rotate back and forth, which one's the biggest one. And the Chinese are like, you know what? We're not going to buy so much anymore. That becomes a problem. Eric is correct. That could be a problem. Absolutely. And Iran can trade in other issues. The question is, how much yuan does it have? Right? I don't know. And why would it bother? How much will it get? And how can you use it? Right? I don't know. How much does it have? I don't know. But here's the best part, Eric. If it just gives oil and takes yuan, then it can take the yuan and buy all of the drones it wants from China. So win-win. I would say just don't bother cut out the middleman. Just give them oil. Cut the middleman out. Just give them oil. Take the oil, give us the drones. And if we get enough of the drones, we get the Russians to come in and teach us how to use them. Because the Russians have been using drones for how many years now? Get the Russians in and teach us how to use them, and we'll rock and roll. So Daniel says reindeer. True. The Finns did use reindeer in their battle against the Soviets. Look at that. You guys, this chat is smart. That is true. Absolutely. They actually used reindeer to tow machine guns, to tow cannon. They used ski troops. They used reindeer to move troops around. Yeah. The Russians outgunned them insane, like 10-1 or some crazy numbers like that. And the Finns held on to the Russians had actually signed a peace treaty. I mean, the Finns still lost that war, but they were not destroyed. They thought the Russians invaded Finland thinking they would literally conquer Finland. And what happened is they had to do a peace treaty where they gained some land. And the Finns kept themselves as best as they could. And then when the Germans invaded, they were like, oh, we can get our land back? Germans like, yeah, we'll get your land back. They're like, done. Where were you? That's why they did it. So yeah, that's how that actually happened. So any case. All righty. All right. See if I can grab here if I can. Rick doesn't like the Daily Wire. He says Daily Wire is fecal matter. That doesn't matter. That's the worst type of fecal matter of all the fecal matter. Ryan says, speaking of Michael Knowles, he called libertarians soft communists. Yeah, most of them don't know what they're talking about because that's one thing we are not. And he gave a long, nonsensical word salad explanation as to why, which told me he didn't know much about libertarians. Of course he didn't. Of course he doesn't. He just has no idea. Yeah. The problem with most of these guys, right? And you see it consistently. When you have a savvy libertarian, when a savvy libertarian actually has conversations with most people who are in that world, like they're hardcore left or hardcore right, very often the people have to turn into either distraction or insults. It's very common. Generally speaking, the right will distract and the left will dismiss. I see it constantly. So he'll just distract and say, whataboutism, 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 when I explain why I'm right and why things have failed and why his system won't work. Yeah, it's common. So yeah, I think that's common. Dave talking to Phil says Russia made it Finland. Yep. Germany went to Norway because of the ports and access to Swedish metals. True. Yep. Absolutely true. That is accurate. That is accurate. I do like that. Okay, so let me grab that last piece if I could. There we go. Joel says many great animal stories from World War II. Very interesting. Yes, the German army still had millions of horses still in World War II. Horses, millions of them in World War II. People don't realize that. They think of the German army being just, mechanized and half tracks and tanks and panzers and stuff. That existed, of course. But if you ask most of the German soldiers, they say, how did you get into Russia? And those, when they were interviewed, they said, we walked. They just marched in Russia. They walked. That's how they got around Russia. Most of them just walked, right? That was it. So, Daniel, thank you for gifting a Sharpe membership. Please, Sharpe membership, guys. If you can grab it, remember our rules, $20 million. If you made it, don't grab it. Otherwise, you can grab it. Please go ahead and grab a membership. Every membership counts. This is important. Please, let's do that. It does matter. Here's what I'm going to ask you, though. This is the most important piece I'm going to ask you. If you have not already, please click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. I bug you all the time about this because it's the only way I get around the ban, shadow type. Now, I have heard, I forgot who told me, I think it might have been Peace, who said that recently the YouTube is kind of backing away from how bad it's been when it comes to banning and when it comes to censorship. I hope that means they stop shadow banning me. That will be nice. I hope that's true. I don't know if that's true. Let's assume that it's true. Let's assume that it's true. And if that's true, great. Then do me a favor. Click the like button. It does matter. And not just that. Share this someplace, wherever you want. Cut and paste it, put it someplace. Let other people see it so people can come and see this and like it. It does matter. Please repost this or share this. I bug you, I know, constantly because it matters. Because it matters. If you want to become a member, a bunch of them are free. Grab one. If you haven't grabbed one of them, then please click that join button. $49 per month. You might go, Larry, $49 per month? Come on, Larry. That's like a cup of coffee in New York City. True. But I'm on almost every day. And I give you lots of caffeine. And I have some right here. I have some myself. So yes, lots of caffeine. It's worth the caffeine. If you can do so, that's great. The more members I can get, the better the show can be. Because the bigger the show, this is thing to remember. One of the reasons why do I get some cool guests? Because I know them. Like if I know the person, they'll often do it because they know me. And they'll say, Larry, I'll hook you up and I'll come on your show. But the show isn't like a massive show. It goes live on 8 different platforms. Some of you see it on one platform, go, oh, I only get X or Y, but it's on 8 different platforms. And most people don't watch it live, believe it or not. A lot of you watch it live because you're hardcore, but most people don't watch it live. So what will happen is if I get 1,000 views total live, then I'll get 3 or 4 more thousand views afterwards, not live. And it's on multiple platforms, right? So maybe on YouTube, I'll get a couple hundred. Then I'll get several hundred on Twitter. I'll get several hundred on this, on several hundred on Rumble. So I'll get several hundred views live, then several thousand afterwards, which is nice. That's good. That's not bad. But that's not the biggest shows out there. And for me to get the biggest, coolest guests, I got to multiply that by 10. That's the truth. For me to get the biggest, best guests, I've got to multiply that by 10. How can I multiply that by 10? by doing a lot more of these, which I try to do, but I still got to do it. I still got to work during the day. Still got to make money, pay my bills like you pay your bills. I still got to pay mine. And I need to be unbanned, and I got to get this to be shared out, which means you have to click that button known as like, and you have to reshare this, repost this. And lastly, the rhythm loves when after this is over, you put a comment down below. You put a comment down below. That's what matters. You put a comment down below. And I'm going to ask you what you think. Do you think that this is a proxy war now between U.S. and China? Will China be directly involved? Will this be a proxy war between U.S. and China? Please tell me what you feel about that. Put that in the comment. And if you're watching this and it's not live, like you're watching the day or two after, what you're going to see is you're going to see a couple of videos pop up right here. And when they pop up, please watch one of them for these 8 minutes right away. Algorithm loves that. I will see you all very soon.